Welcome to the Budget and Expense Tracker Workbook. This is an Excel template that I've put together to allow you to monitor your spending and your budget throughout each month. And this video will be one of several tutorial videos, this one being primarily just an introductory video to give you an overview of how this project works. There's not a whole lot of time and these videos are very short, so I'm going to get started. When you open up the project for the very first time, Excel will present you with a message telling you to enable macros, and this is a macro enabled workbook, so you need to do that. Once you click on enable macros, you'll be presented with this warning message, which is nothing to worry about. It's just a statement that says that it was designed in Excel 2010 and it's for that version and later versions. And if you try to open it in earlier versions, you will likely run into problems. Click OK, and next you're presented with a chart viewer. And this is a neat little feature that allows you to view charts for each month that you're in, or for the current month, and it sort of gives you just a snapshot of where you stand spending and budget wise when you open the project. This project contains several worksheets, the welcome worksheet being the first thing you see when you open it for the very first time, and times that you open it after that you'll be taken to the budget worksheet. There's an introduction here, and I've stated that this should be an easy template to use because once you get your budgets the way you want them, then all you have to do is just enter your transactions. There's a lot of formulas, and there's some VBA coding and macros that do a lot of the work for you. This template also contains, in addition to the tutorial videos, a fairly extensive user guide. So please read those before you get started, and it will tell you exactly how to start, what procedures to follow. And this template does have some restrictions. There are certain things you can't do, but there's a lot of things you can do. So that's how that works. Then there's a budget worksheet, and this is the worksheet you will be taken to every time that you open the project. If this is the very first time that you open this, the first thing you need to do is clear out these macros, and you'll only have to do this one time, but it's just a step that we have to do. So I'm going to go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon. Under the main tabs, I'm going to expand the section My Macros, and then we need to remove these 4 macros. Then click OK, and then we're going to close the project. Click Save, and then we're going to open it back up. Close the viewer. And as you can see, we've been taken to the budget worksheet. And now we're going to add these macros back in. I'm going to select My Macros, and then we're going to choose Commands from Macros. And we're going to add in clear cells, copy budget columns, copy month column. And then down at the bottom, about the 5th or 6th from the bottom, there's one called Reallocate My Macros. I'm going to add that one. And I'm going to rename this to Transfer Funds for simplicity. Click OK. And before we click OK, there's one other step we need to do, is let's go to the Advanced button, or the Advanced section. Under editing options, this first box needs to be unchecked. So if it's checked, you need to uncheck it. After pressing enter, move selection. Make sure that's unchecked. Click OK. Now we're ready to use the workbook. The budget worksheet in front of you is just sort of the starting page where you would just go in and you would key in your categories. The categories are actually a drop-down list. So once you select your categories, and then all you need to do is just key in your budget amounts for that category for the month that you're in. And to the right of this, I've created some calendars that will display the totals of your daily transactions for each day in the month. It just totals it up and it puts it on display over here. And the reason the budget worksheet opens, or is the active worksheet when you open the project, just so it will give you just an instant view of your percentage of your budget that you've used. And that's the only reason I did that, just so you could do that. And that can be changed. It's really easy for me to change that, so just let me know. And then we have the month worksheet, and you would select your categories in column A. And once you get your budget set up in the budget worksheet and you've keyed in the budget amounts, there's a formula that will go out to the budget worksheet, and it will grab the budget for the category you select. So you don't ever have to enter in the budgets in this column here, the budget column. So for example, dental care has a budget of $44. If I change that to Google Drive, it's $15. House maintenance, $77. So it will go out and give you the budget. And the list worksheet, this is where you would actually start for the very first time. There's a column called category name, and this list is the list source for your drop-down list. So you would just enter your category names in here, and again, this is just an example, so you just rename them to whatever you want. And it's just the source list for the drop-downs. Okay, back to the welcome worksheet. I have an introduction here. Just to give you an idea of some of the features. There's a lot of conditional formatting throughout this project, and there's alert messages that will happen if you go over budget, or if you go over 50% or more of your budget. There's alert messages that will pop up. And it will even give you the option to transfer funds through an interactive form. So if you go over budget, you can reallocate basically and transfer funds from other budget categories if you need to. And that's basically how that works. So that is all for this video. Again, there will be several videos after this, so I will hopefully see you at the next video.